I'm Peter Kazmir. I'm Director of Product Management at Anvilogic. So I work in the SIM space in cybersecurity. And in SIM, you're mostly working with detection and then investigation on those alerts that you're detecting. And there's a tendency in this space to just throw data at the user. And as an analyst, when you are trying to investigate something that could be critical to your business, you want to do it as quickly as you can, and not knowing what to look at on the screen, not knowing what's most important, not even knowing necessarily sometimes if an alert should be prioritized higher than another one, that's really a big deal. So you want to make sure that the UI is designed well so that it's very intuitive, so that it guides the user through the workflows that they need to go through, and that it's really easy to use. Sure, there's two ways. One way is analytics. We have the ability to do customer surveys. So people who are using the UI, we can pop up a survey like an NPS survey, just a quick question. How are you liking the UI on a scale of 1 to 10? And then get some feedback that way. We can track those scores over time. We can also use third-party tools that hook into the UI and tell us about what user behavior is like on the website. So if they're rage clicking or spending a lot of time on one page or not using a certain workflow, or maybe not even using a certain feature, then we can investigate that further. The other, and I think probably more important way, is just direct firsthand conversations with customers. I want to know from the people who are actually using the product, but not necessarily their managers or the CISO, but I want to know, like, from the analyst, what do they like about the product? What do they not like about the product? What frustrates them while they're using it? I want to make sure that we're removing as much friction and making it as easy to use as possible. The biggest one that I see is just throwing all the data on the screen and telling the analyst good luck. When you are faced with a wall of information and you don't know what's the most important thing, what little piece of information or what little nugget in there might be the most important piece that's really going to give you that aha moment when you're investigating some kind of potential malicious activity, that's just doing the customer a disservice. You want to make sure that information is organized well, you're presenting the information that they need when they need to see it, not necessarily before or too late. And like I said, it's just the organization of the page and the site, the UI in general, is just really important. It should really align with the user's workflow and what they're wanting to do as they're doing their job. Sure, AI is big in security right now. We just released our own first set of agentic AI agents in our product, and we're going to be releasing a number of additional ones over time. And the thing that we really spent a lot of time on is getting the UX right. We want to make sure that those agents are part of the workflow that the user wants to follow, that we're not forcing them down a particular path. We're working with them how they want to work. We're getting important information that's in context for what they're looking at, and just really helping the agent do their job better rather than trying to do their job for them. One pet peeve I have is when you walk around a show like RSA that we're at this week, you see a lot of demos from different companies and they all look the same. They all just look like Google Material Design. And that's good to an extent. Google Material Design has a lot of good things going for it. But in a particular space like that we're in with cybersecurity, you want to make sure that you are tuning the UI to really meet the needs of the customer. You want to make sure you have the right kinds of graphs, not just that you have graphs, that you have the information is organized across the site in a way that makes sense. That you have good accessibility. That's a really key thing these days, to have really good accessibility. Even if you don't have any particular needs, just having a well-designed, accessible UI is good for anybody. So I think those are really important. And when I know that there's a rush to get stuff out the door, but you do need to take into account what the customer wants to do. You need to work with them in collaboration. It's really hard to get something good out the door if you never talk to a customer, and that's really important too.